So this week we're going to be talking about line-out strategies. But before we go into much detail, I just want to talk about something relatively simple, basic, and that is what happens if you have a thrower who can only throw to the first pod. In other words, the thrower can only throw to this jumper. Out here, the thing that we know is the distance between the scrum half and the fly half is the distance of the scrum half's effective pass. In this case, we've used a rope to indicate the distance between them, the length of the scrum half pass. If we have a thrower who can only throw to this first person, then the ball will come down to the scrum half about here, and that's where the fly half will have to be. Now, one thing that we know is that we're likely to score more tries in the backs from lineouts than we are from scrums, because at no point in the rest of the game will we have 20 yards between our backs and their backs. So if you have an incredibly good back line, you have a fast set of backs, and you're thinking of getting that ball out wide to that speedy outside backs, then there's a major problem, because defensively, after 15, there is a defensive flanker. And that defensive flanker can tee off the moment the ball leaves. So, in this case, the moment, if you give it back to Courtney for me, the moment if you just drop your hands, drop the rope, yep. The moment it comes out, this person tees off and puts huge amounts of pressure on the fly half, who now is in trouble and is likely to rush whatever is happening outside of her. This impacts the outside backs. But if you put your hand through the hole, put your hand through the loop. If you can throw to the back pod, the scrum half could take the ball about here. The fly half goes out much further, and stretch the rope, the length of your pass, and now you can just drop their hands out of the rope. So now, when the ball leaves, if you just give it back to her, and give it to Trixie, by the time this person gets out, she's already made her pass out. Let's try it again. Don't run onto it, calm for me. For the sake of this court, can you go outside of her? And so don't run onto it quite as hard, or take one step back from you, calm, there. And then just put it out to her. And so give it back to breathe, here we go, and away you go. So, if you really want to utilize these incredibly fast backs that you have out there, you have to have a thrower who can throw to the back pod. And this means that until you get a hooker who can really perfect their throwing technique, then it might be best, if you have fast backs, to just find your best thrower and not necessarily the hooker. The game is one where everybody's connected. And so the success of the wing out there is dependent upon a front row forward there. And that's how connected we all are in the game.